In today's video, I wanted to talk to you about how to deal with negative feedback or criticism, because the truth is, when you're not used to receiving feedback, it can sting a bit. So I wanted to share some tips about how to move past the criticism, take what's useful, and ignore what's not. If we haven't met yet, my name is Rachel. I'm a full-time copywriter and editor. And on this channel, I talk about writing, creativity, and making money online. So if any of those topics are of interest to you, please consider subscribing to the channel. Okay, so yesterday I received a not very nice comment on a class that I have, not on, nothing on YouTube. It was on a different platform. And it stung a bit, it wasn't very nice. And, one particular comment sort of hit me in one of my insecurities. And yeah, I didn't feel great about it. So that's why I'm sharing this video today, to share some tips on how to move past negative feedback, because we all get it. If you're putting anything out online, working with clients, anything like that, you're gonna get bad feedback. You're not gonna hit it, every job out of the park first go. It's just part of doing business. So that being said, how do we deal with it? The first thing that you need to realize is that, most of the time the feedback isn't personal. So for instance, if you submit some work to a client and they send it back and said, that's terrible, not what I wanted at all, they're not saying that you're terrible. So you need to learn how to separate yourself from what it is that you're creating. Now this is a bit easier to do when it's, writing work for a client, because oftentimes, you're not writing as yourself, you're not, sharing anything, from your own life. It's all you're writing as your client. So it's easier to be able to separate yourself from your work. It's more difficult when it's creative work. So, for instance, if you, I don't know, do a painting or, write a song or something, and you share it on social media, and someone comments and says, well, that sucks. And, perhaps it's a deeply personal thing that you've written, and, that can really sting, and it can feel like you suck, because your creative work is a part of you, isn't it? So yeah, it's one thing. So yeah, one thing you need to understand about receiving criticism is that whenever you put something, share something of yourself online, not everybody is going to like it. And that's just a fact. So, just like not everyone likes eating apples. Some people love apples, it's their favorite fruit. Other people hate them. So you need to understand that, you're never going to please everyone. And what you're doing by sharing a piece of yourself online is actually a very brave thing to do. And, a lot of people that criticize others do so because they're too afraid to do the same thing themselves. So yeah, my first tip is to try and separate yourself from the thing that you've created. My second tip is to actually read through the feedback and decide whether or not it's useful. So good feedback, constructive criticism, will often give you an aha moment, like, oh yes, they've just pointed out what it is that is missing from this thing. Like, this is great, now I can fix it. So that's good, useful, good feedback. And, you often won't have that cringy feeling like, oh, they've made me feel horrible sort of thing. If it's good constructive feedback, you'll usually have an aha moment and know what to do with the feedback. Bad feedback or criticism for the sake, that feels like a personal attack, or that, isn't based on the work, or yeah, anything along those lines. Or, it could be like, I'll give you my own example from yesterday. So this person, left a negative review on one of my classes. And when I read through it, when I came back to it after reading through it the first time, I read it again. And it actually seemed like she had come into this class with an idea of what was going to be delivered. And that's not what I delivered. So I didn't actually make any false promises. Like, I delivered what I said I would, but that's not the idea that she had in her mind. And so she didn't like it. And that's fine, but that's not criticism I'm going to take on board or do anything with, because I think she had a different idea of what was, what I was going to deliver. So yeah, that's my second tip is the feedback useful? Can you actually apply it? Does it make sense to apply it? If not, just ignore it. If it's a personal attack, just ignore it. My third tip when dealing with negative feedback is to go and do something else completely unrelated for a while. So yesterday I happened to have an art class booked in that I was actually on my way to going to when I got this horrible comment. And so that was great, because as soon as I got into the class, I started immersing myself in it, and I totally forgot about the feedback for, quite a few hours. So my next tip is to, do something unrelated. So maybe call up a friend that you can sort of unload on and, get them to distract you and find out what's going on in their life, and you'll totally forget about the feedback. Or go do something creative, go for a walk, preferably with other people, so that way you're not stewing on it. My fourth tip, and maybe not straight away, but after you've processed the feedback, is to get back up on the horse and make something else. So if you put a song out there and someone said it sucked, then write another song. If you put a painting up and it wasn't great, make another painting. So right now I'm making this video as a part of my process. I'm getting back on the horse. I'm, making something that I'm going to publish and put out in the world, and those who will like it, those who don't. So yeah, just make another thing of whatever it was that you received criticism on. So yeah, just get back up on the horse, make something else. You're going to be productive. It's going to make you feel a bit better. The last thing you want to do is get creatively blocked. And this has happened to me a couple of times actually, where, I've put something out creatively that's, maybe I've shared a part of myself, like it's felt vulnerable to me, and it, wasn't received so well, and it did form a creative block, and I couldn't bring myself to do that thing for years sometimes. So don't learn from my mistakes. Just don't let it get creatively blocked. Like, it's only, at the end of the day, it's only your opinion of yourself that matters, not other people. And as I said before, not everyone is going to like your work. It's just a fact. Finally, just remember that your best work is yet to come. So, for instance, this YouTube channel is still a baby. I've only been at it for a couple of months. My videos aren't amazing. I don't know how to color grade properly. My editing's okay. So I know this isn't my best work, but there's still value in doing it. The only way to get to your best work is to get through your mediocre work and your, less than great work. So, if someone criticizes you and, maybe the work is mediocre, that's fine. You got to get through the bad stuff to get to the good stuff. So just keep going. Now, I do hope that this video has helped you. If you have any other tips for how you deal with criticism, I would love to hear them. So make sure you leave a comment. Thank you so much for watching. Keep doing your work, and I'll see you in the next video.